Hey, welcome back. Quick tutorial stroke showcase item here. We're going to show you how to use the distance meter component to measure the distance between two areas. This is a very specialized component, but I wanted to do it for completeness sake and also to show off the gadget that I've made. We'll over into Smooth POV and show what we've got. So over in Smooth POV, I have the avatar ruler from the NTC. When I looked at that, I wanted to grab it and use it in a while, so I went into the MTC, grabbed it and saved it to my inventory and spawned it, and the user that was wanting to use it complained because it only did the distance in meters and not feet. So I've adapted this ruler to use feet as well as meters. Additionally, when I was going through it, I realized that it was using logics rather than the distance meter component, so I've updated both the feet and the meter display to be using the distance meter component. So you can see here, you can drag this up and down, and it will show you the height in both meters and feet and inches. So I'm roughly 6'2" in real life, so there we go. I'm not going to get that exact, but there you go. Or 1.89 meters, so yeah, that's quite close. And if I go land, you'll see that I line up with that. And that's because I've got my height set as 6'2" in the Neo settings. So it's a good way to sort of see that things work. It's also a good way if you're playing around with, smaller or larger avatars to see how big they are. Let's go on how this component works. To do that, I'm actually going to use the meter tip. Now, this isn't a tutorial on the meter tip. I made you one of this request form, but it's really, really simple. You just select two locations in the world. Let's get some cubes, actually. They're a bit easier to see than the floor. Here's a cube. Here's another cube, and we can do the distance between them, and you'll see that is 1.31858766, loads of numbers, meters. And if I move these further apart, you'll see that that line grows and shrinks. And this is all powered by the distance meter components. Let's go take a look at it. I'm now doing the distance between my tool shelf and my tool shelf. Excellent. That's probably going to be there for the rest of the video if I don't delete it. There we go. So if we inspect the text here and we go up a little bit, we'll see that the meter is here, has a bunch of stuff on it, but we're actually looking for the label. On the label here, you'll see the distance meter component. You can find this component in attach component, uncategorized, and then it's D for distance, and there it is, distance meter. And you can see here that it takes two slots. In this case, it's got a point, which is point 1, which is parented to the object, and point 2, which is parented to the other object. And that is how it does the distance calculation. Below that is the measurement space, and this controls where it's measuring between. Global space means it's measuring world space. For the distance meter, you usually want that, unless you're doing something really precise with complex hierarchies, in which case use local space, and it'll measure the distance in the actual parenting hierarchy that things are using. Beneath that is the our legacy anchors. Don't use those. Those are legacy. Beneath that is the format system. This uses standard formatting that's been using that you can see in use in the format tutorial, where it goes over the format logics node, so I'll link to that one. You'll see here that the format unit is set to F2, which is making it nice and small there as CM, but the format number has no formatting string. So if I drop F2 down into there, you'll see we then get the distance to 2 decimal places, which is a lot more manageable than the default formatting. Beneath that is the compound format units. This is what we're using over in the other one to do the feet and inches. I will show you that over there. It's also easy actually to show you the rest of these options over there, so we'll go take a look. So if I go ahead and inspect this object, this is quite a complicated hierarchy because a lot of it was made in NES, so I have to follow around a little bit. There's also a lot of interactivity here. That means things need to line up. So here's the label. And you'll see we have 2 distance meters. That's the best way I could do it. So the top distance meter does the distance between the label and the ruler base, which is the very bottom rung on the meter tip there. Oh, not the meter tip, the ruler. And we've got the format unit and format number as F2, which basically means float to 2 decimal places. And then for compound units, I've got feet and inches, and that's how we get the feet and inch display there. So 6 foot, 2.43 inches. Beneath that, you'll see compound use long names. If we tick that, we'll get the full name of feet and inches. So we've got 6 feet, like spelt feet, and then 2.43 inches, spelt inches. I can uncheck that. Overriding names appears to just move the space. I'm not entirely sure what that does. Discard last fraction will set the last fraction here to 0, 0. That's if you don't need it, but I would prefer if you did that with the format number part. The compound separator is a separator string between the compound units. Here I have this set to space so that there is a nice distance between them, but you could also do, say, comma or something like that. Space looks good for me. Compound zero handling will basically handle how it deals with zeros. It can leave all, remove any, trim the beginning zeros, or just leave all. I left that on leave all. The last property is the text, which you want it to update. This, in this case, is set to the text of the label. So we grab text and we drop it in to the outline there, and that's what it does. That's distance meter for you, and a little bit of the meter tip. I know this may sound like a silly tutorial, but I think it's a cool component if you're looking to do more sort of real-world examples or architectural models or anything that needs sort of a scientific representation of the unit that exists here. You can find this ruler in my public folder, and I'll be speaking to the NEOS team about updating the one in the MTC to deal with feet and inches as well. Inside my public folder, it's in gadgets, and it's there as avatar ruler. Thanks to the NEOS team for making the original model of this. It looks super cool. I assume Aegis made it. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but if it was Aegis, great job. Regardless, great job. I will see you next time.